What's up guys, it's Unders and we're moving into the next part of our track from scratch. And in this part I have no idea what we're going to do. Maybe I should record the intro after I've done it, but where is the fun in that? In all seriousness, we've got like the first sort of chunk done, the first like 16 bar drop, maybe even a 32 bar drop. I think what we need to do is develop the next part. And I think what we're going to do is really strip it back and try and just use the bass as an instrument to give it loads of like feel and momentum and make it the real focus of that section, perhaps before breaking it down into like a mid section. I think that's what we're going to look at building. It's probably copying the section over, maybe some drum alterations, something like that, and making that bass really the focus of that part. So let's get into that.
Feeling heavy, but now I'm steady. Going up, I'm hitting the ground.
All right, so we go from this section to this section. And that all transitions well, and then out of here, now that's going to keep doing that, so that's going to be the first thing we do. We're going to fix that. So on our keys track here, if we open it up, we can see that this one here that's got the ARP on it, it's just going to keep triggering even when we've switched it off, because it's got that last note. So where it was bypassed like that before, we can just boom, pop it in like that. What I'm thinking is pretty much, I want to keep the drums almost the same, but have a change to like signify a new set. Let's take over this little arming bit here. Yeah, we're going to copy that automation and then we'll have a look at it. Yeah, that's fine. It's just that feedback stuff from the intro, so it needs to be off. That is cool. So let's just loop this, and we've got and I think we can actually just shorten it up a bit more. Seems crazy, right? We're just going to go to just that bit over and over rather than even the 2 bar. Cool, so we really are stripping it down to just the first bar here. And in terms of the kicks, we're using that F sharp. We're going to make a new one. It's just going to land a little bit more frequently because of we're going to be stripping everything else out. We can really kind of use that space to fill it up. So here we are, which is going to be what, on F sharp, and we're just going to bring our velocity up, and I want it to be a hell of a lot harder. I think if we can maybe do the classic D&B pattern, a little bit of syncopation there. That'll work. And we're going to do our snare as well. Want that a bit higher up. And I'm going to potentially look at doing snare rolls in the middle as well, like this. Okay, so just a slightly different snare pan, just without seeing it on the screen. Let's just listen to it. It will be there, then it won't be there, then it will be there. And you know, if we miss it, it's something good and we're going to vibe with it. Let's try it. I like it in and out. That's pretty all right. So what we're going to do on the second pattern is just have it land on the 2 regular snare points. So we've just got a slightly different pattern going on so far. So even though we're just repeating this 1 bar over and over here, we've actually got some variation, which kind of makes it a 2 bar loop. And then we're going to probably throw back to having these shakers in. Actually, we'll do 4 bars in like that, and then we'll bring the shakers over. That works for me, and I want to use the crashes again as well. So we've not heard them for quite a while in the track, just to like signify the part changing. They're obviously way too much, but until we get to like mixing stage, not going to worry too much about them. I'm literally going to drag the baseline over as well, because it's going to bring all the automation and things with it that we can play with. All right, let's open up the automation lanes for it. I think perhaps we could start with it open. Now, really, I'm just going to be experimenting here with different automation options, try and give it some flair as it plays. And some key moments like that, I tend to try and like link. They feel like they're in time with the track, even though that's not the easiest thing to do in Logic. You kind of just have to line them up with those key places, like so. Get them in time the best that you can. But it does help it have kind of a natural feel. Could program this in with a MIDI keyboard as well, but equally, this is just as effective. Right, so if we bring up alchemy, there's some other areas that we can probably manipulate as well. And I'm thinking, I thought we actually did the drive before, but it looks like we're just doing the filter cutoff. So we might be able to push the drive and the resonance as well. So to get all those channels up, what I'm going to do is just leave alchemy selected, switch it from read to touch, and just very simply move those ever so slightly, and it will now give me all of those channels that I wanted. I've got the drive at the top, cut off, and then resonance just here. If I want to have a little play with the resonance sweep just there kind of thing. Just give that ripping and tearing feel a bit more. So just doing things like, as the filter's going out, pushing the drive up and the resonance up. So the filter's sweeping down, but it's actually getting more pronounced at its cutoff point, and then the drive's causing it to distort, just to really change the sound. And I don't want to just straight out copy that pan, but I do need the drums again. So we're going to copy those across. I'm going to keep the shakers in because you do kind of miss them, but something else is going to occur here. I'm going to take our ride from over here, bring that into the ride, comes in, and then we end up bringing the shakers back in as well. As well as here, I'm going to take the original break again, but I'm going to drop it back to the 2-bar segment like before and copy that over. And then I'm going to copy these 4 here. Just we've got that change. We're not really going to notice any like major changes in the drums, but it's going to be subtle enough just that there's things going on in the background. Okay, and now we need to kind of decorate this bass line again, if you will. I think we can probably kick off with a nice sharp rise up over this note and the distortion, and bring the resonance up, and we'll like curve it in. Got too much off on the filter though, so we need to give that a little bit back. Not that much. Maybe really lick up the distortion at the end, or the drive. Drive's actually already maxing out. Let's though add the second drive in. Add ourselves another layer in, so we've got that. Make sure we take touch off. We'll use that one there, push it even further. All right, so now we end up going